Juanita? Well, I'm sure she'll be fine. Oh, the Pope! Well, if you have ever attended a Harambean gathering, you know what's coming our way. Pope Bello. Pope Bello, are you ready?
Ready.
All right.
Aloha. Harvest time, the end of the beginning. A poem on a piece of paper by Idris Bello, Harambean class of 2011, Nigerian from the University of Oxford. Aloha. As usual, we begin by setting expectations. If you are allergic to insider jokes and jocular palpitations, here is your chance to get out before it is too late. For while the Ankylobiheces to date may have cheap medical devices updated to handle allergic reactions to peanuts, it's not yet at the point of having one that handles allergic reaction to laughter. And while many of you have heard about the papal poems and are here today with great expectation about this poem, I must remind you what they say about expectations. That those who have no expectations are really disappointed. And no one sets expectation for this Pope. Talking about this Pope, for many who are new to this alliance, you are honored to stand in the presence of His Eminence. Pope Bello the Fourth, truly eminent. A favor you dare not treat with contempt. Else, you may not be considered for the Pope Bello Fellowship. And many of the papal blessings I have in my back pocket to flip. And Pope Bello the First was almost not going to be here for today, as papal duties require much of His Eminence these days. But then, even the Pope asks those he answers to. And if Okendo can make the Pope in Rome too, to say Harambe and Hackathon for the first time in 1,000 years, he can make this Pope here do the journey from Cape to Cairo. Aloha. We are gathered here again today for the third Harambeans Global Summit. The first was here in Franschhoek with you, my friends, in it. The second was over dinner with Okendo and his friends are here. Back when he was taken captive, willingly in Cape Town. A story I will get to in short order. But again, here we are back in Harambe Republic of Franschhoek. We are back again because just as we warned, once you let us in, we never truly leave. And we are here to have a taste of Harambe honey from Lesego, who makes honey but does not stink any. Building the next generation of African beekeepers. 12 years ago, almost to the day, we gathered in 2012 on a day at the Parliament in Cape Town, the southernmost point of the world, to declare our dreams to the world of what we hoped the continent would be, fueled by the eternal optimism and exuberance of youth. It is thus only fitting that we return 10 years later, much older, heavier, and we hope wiser, to declare that our dreams are now becoming reality. And our young alliance is now raining unicorns and soonicorns. Wait, I almost cannot recognize this alliance of fine wine and vintage cars. We have come a long way from the days of cramped hotel rooms and street food. Growing from a few to 327 Harambeans to date, we now drive in Lula buses to Sari restaurants where we pay with Yoko cards. And as our chairman likes to say, we have grown from a board to a booming roast, from a dream on a piece of paper to a burgeoning alliance of founders and supporters. Welcome to the end of the beginning, but never forget that our work is just beginning. Serenaded yesterday, as we were by Duncan Johnson, the saxophonist, who had to blow his saxophone even in his silent movements for Bishop Tutu. Then we were at Anthony Rupert wine farm, whose first occupant was Miss Devilos from 1888. And we had Mr. Louis Gay, who ordered us all to dress in business formal. And then he shows up in a t-shirt. And then he shows up in a t-shirt, pants and sneakers. Above the law, are we now? My name is Gaitai Mutombo, and I'm not an alcoholic. And yet he broke the Harambe bell. And he can't seem to make up his mind on whether these Harambe pins are ages or ages. And so we welcome our friends within great ages, new to the alliance they are. But know that once you come to this alliance, you never leave. And we'll move you from gray to white to black, or even to Harvard World Ages, if you shed tears and blood for us. Ask from the Oppenheimers if you don't believe us. I'm talking about Oppenheimers. Nice to see you again, Jonathan. Always looking dapper and cheerful as always. Eternally grateful to you for bringing us back from Rome. And while we miss Isabella, the colleague artist here today, I see we have Samuel Oppenheimer here with us. Where's Sam? Beaten by the entrepreneurship bug too, as he figures out the marketplace for corporate purchases. And who does the hard work of getting a PhD in philosophy in faraway snake reading Australia, and then abandons a life in the academia to be a stylist and lead digital services at Burberry? Aha, Carrie Reeves it is. We're glad to have you here with us and intrigued by your passion for plastic waste recycling. And while the Lord cannot be with here in person, and while the Lord cannot be with us here in person today, for those who are old to this alliance, this Lord Hastings that I refer to, he has sent his apostle, St. Luke Kincaid, to be here with us. Fabian and Brian from NASPAS, who made more than 10 cents investing in 10 cents. Elaine, who had to share a single computer in law school in Kenya, but today she has many computers as a shuttle between the US and Kenya. And came along with a colleague, Augustine Doe, who had to travel from Orange County to Atlanta and then flee from New York to Amsterdam and came down to join us here in Cape Town just because he ran into Okendo in Boston. Nella, the chief of staff of Okendo, who is glad to have found a class person in Ugwe from the Federal Republic of Ibibio land. Don't go looking for it on Google Maps. No. And she likes to refer to her own Kelechi Ofebu as combining the worst characteristics of being a Nigerian and a Ghanaian. And Kelechi wants you all to come and invest in Ghana. And I'm all in support of that, if only he agrees that Nigerian jollof is better than Ghanaian. And as if we're not all scared enough, now all white cult-like aquarium. Okendo had us dancing to his new song. Kinshasa to Lusaka, Lagos to Nairobi, Cape Town to Cairo, followed by red and blue aprons at lunch. You are all welcome to the Harambe Mafia. Join us after dark at the after party initiation and see what you get when you cross Italians and Africans. And there was so much to eat as Miss Nadia Musaji hosted the Harambeans at the Sari restaurant. And I hear many people are planning to go back again, which makes me to ask the million-dollar question. Is there something Miss Musaji cannot do with excellence? From running women and a few restaurants, I hear she's now co-raising a $50 million fund, along with Miss Hima Valan of 5.5 Ventures. focus on investing in women across the continent. Now we're going to build in the future with E. Now so famous, it's known by just a single letter of the alphabet. With 2 unicorns in his name and counting. Never knew a day would come that E would be described as an oldie. Given that he was just 19 when I gave him his first check. And 4 after, I have since backed. And I'm waiting for his third unicorn. So I can NFT our old photos. when he looks so young and slim. On to Mr. Lubega of the Go One Unicorn fame, who likes to have his back touched. He massage every other day. I guess you can see he has worked for it. I'm talking of unicorns. We have here Adam Asane of Moleskine Foundation, who is here just because Okendo is anxious to prove that black Italians are no unicorns. And they truly exist. Hello, Halim Mulder of BIB, who runs too many ventures to count, and got Okendo to read out his book on an Audible for Africa. Cezanne Dosu of Touch Biometric Payments has a name and look that is from Swaziland. Yet I spent all day trying to convince me that she's Shekiri from Nigeria. No, sister, there are already too many of us. And when you have a product of a Zimbabwean and a South African, they come out so damn fine that you name them Adam Fine. And I watch them level the playing field for 5-a-side football in Africa. And I finally got to meet Byrone Epstein after a year of Zoom calls. She doesn't look it, but this fine damsel here rode 27 wild horses across 1,000 kilometers to win the longest horse race ever across Mongolia. So tomorrow, if you're on the horse race team, know that you're in the presence of equestrian royalty. The Sabro Motualedi of voice enables AI to listen to your recorded calls. Creepy, I know. But not in a bad way, so she claims. And Simon Ellis of Smart Wage, who also happens to be a politician. And where's Mr. Remida of Space Finish? Where's Remy? Sorry, I meant Chief Dada. He's so well dressed. Like the Nigerian prince, who has always promised to send you money. But whom you have never met until now. Hello, Ikena, in the of relief. Where's Ikena? Who has come a very long way from trying to implement World Bank agricultural theories in rural Nigeria. Now he has become a vegetable oil merchant. Inventing nut crackers for a living. Ikena, my sources tell me that you went missing Thursday night, along with Mr. Mboweni of Lula. Where's Mboweni? The one who moves those who move Africa, and who uses his small money to support other Harambeans, the very first recipient of the Aboyeki Award for servant leadership. The two of you were nowhere to be found until the early hours of the next day. I would have asked to know where you went to, but as Carl Dickens reminds us in Great Expectations, ask no questions and you'll be told no lies. Habari Jioni to Sultan Teshimbabu of Market Force. I have money in Kenya. And how you get to Ugwe Eneyo? Where's Ugwe? It's Eneyo. Stanford dropout. Currently busy solving the small problem of Nigeria's epileptic power before turning our attention to the very important issue of producing the real housewives of Lagos. Hello, Mr. Adebe of Willie and Simon Azel of Niseko. We say Caribou to Hilda Mora of Position, along with Tim Harris and Adi Entobin. And while we've tried so hard to get Ed Sheeran to join us unsuccessfully, we do have Ahmad Sheeran of Recommend here with us. They are all Sheerans. Thank you to Francesco Tronchi, who wants investors to give back to the Alliance. Where is it?
Here.
So thank you to Francesco Tronchi, who wants investors to give back to the Alliance. Do you know what we call Italians? We call them the Nigerians of Europe. Because they love God, women, and money. And while I've spent the last few months trying to get on the calendar of Dr. Ola Oekoin, Dr. Ola Brown of the Flying Doctors fame, guess who I ran into last evening at the Rupert? Amazing doctor and co-investor, now working on a PhD in finance. Where's Mr. Professor anywhere?
Somewhere.
Nice again to have you with us, Professor Anywhere, Siko of HBS. So aptly named as he cannot stay in one place. And after writing several case studies on our alliance, he can no longer claim to be an independent academic. And in the same vein, we say thanks to Steve Unchin from the People's Republic of Palo Alto, who's also writing another case study on Harambeans. An alliance that as a pope needs angels working for it, right? And then when they perform 3 miracles, they become beautified by this pope. And so today we have with us Saint Hasha. And if you haven't copied your miracle from her yet, you have a few hours left to make your wish. But that may depend on your answer to our question of whether you are an ant or a grasshopper. Welcome to Kuda Mupandangwana, a name that is a mouthful. But made up for by the fact that he has promised us a boat ride tomorrow to wrap this all up. We also say hello to Denver Isaac, our own future Harambean UFC champion. There's a saying that you do not take sand to the beach. That does not apply to Joshua North of the Smith Futures, who showed up at the Vatican with his own grapes. And he's here with Megan Patel, the Kenyan American, who looks so young, yet told me she has 7 kids. And when she saw my mouth was wide open, she told me she meant the 7 founders she has invested in. And the other Patel is Chanel, the Zimbabwean in New York City. Remember to take up his offer of a free room next time you're in the Big Apple. And to the founder of Alan Green Foundation, who outran our chairman on the chairman's run. Thanks for bringing along Rob and Lutando. At Harambe, we always give you choices. So if you cannot join the chairman's run down the hill, you get to do the people's work instead. Or you take the very hard choice of the Champions League. Unless you are Kelechi or Augustine, who ran down the hill and up again. While the rest took a bus back to base. Meanwhile, if you are the Pope and sleep until late, is it still a people's work when you walk down the hill alone? A chairman's run when you run up the hill alone? I asked and asked, and pontifical sources from 325 AD tell me it's a papal triathlon. When you hear me say Hakuna, don't say Hakuna Matata. But instead, I refer to Miss Hakuna Ku of the U.S. Bureau of African Affairs, where she. For while Okendo likes to quote from dead Greek philosophers. Ms. Akuna reminds us that in the words of the always living notorious B.I.G., it is all of a dream. And along with the rest of the U.S. delegation who hosted us on arrival, Will Stevens, Neil, Ashley, and Leslie, she reminds us to flip the script on the narrative, work together and find each other, and dream and believe in African solutions to global problems. Can the dream team please stand up? Dream team. Can the dream team please stand up? Not for applause, but for proper sanctions. Who brings this Nigerian to an event for days and refuses to include jollof rice in the menu? Was it not Okonkwo in Things Fall Apart who said, and I quote, "A gathering without jollof could as well have been a Zoom meeting"? But truly, we're grateful to the dream team, from Nella, the chief of staff, to the chairman, to Nadine and Kogwa from the media team, and the very many others whose time would not allow me to mention. You make it all look so easy. And so on behalf of the Grateful Alliance, we say thank you. Talking of the chairman, Okendo, the audacious one, who set out to build an alliance of African entrepreneurs in Ivy League schools many years before he ever stepped on African soil. And when he had not yet attended an Ivy League school. And while his ancestors may have left unwillingly hundreds of years ago, not from Cape Town as he would ask us believe. COVID was an excuse to come back and spend 19 months in Cape Townian captivity, as he calls it. Who would not want to get stuck in this beautiful wine valley? Partying below the Table Mountain of Cape Town, he saw the sign that said, "This is Lagos," and he refused to get stuck there. TIA, this is the alliance. As the late Chino Achebe reminded us, a man who calls his kinsmen to a feast does not do so to save them from starving. They all have food in their homes. When we gather together in the moonlit village ground, it is not because of the moon. Every man can see the moon in his own compound. Rather, we come together because it is good for kinsmen to do so. So every summit, we come together for the good of our continent. And while our bold dreams may scare us, we know that we have each other. And we know that we must be stronger than Damascus steel. And even though tomorrow we part, we know that life is made up of so many partings welded together. And together, we will check our road and the nature of our battle. Yet in the end, the Africa our generation desires can be won. It exists.